Hello, everybody. I've noticed a lot of times mostly on Facebook, about wrestling fans bickering about who's got the better promotion or which promotions suck and all this other gaga that's been going on for such some time, man. I know everybody and their mother seemingly shit on WWE, yet people who do that, they continue to watch like a bunch of hypocrites. AEW, many are shitting on them, even though they have a good in ring product. That, about them, have signing has washed up has beens from the past, namely, signing Sting, Paul White, formerly The Big Show, and most recently, Christian Cage. Now, granted, those three aforementioned individuals I mentioned are veterans and they've been around for some time in pro wrestling. Now, it's good to have name power for any promotion out there, and even though AEW is about to celebrate its second anniversary at Double or Nothing on Sunday, May 30th, with Double or Nothing 3 or Double or Nothing 2021. And also, there are fans who still support Impact Wrestling, or as I remember it as TNA, and when it was TNA, I found their product to be really great. But there's always people throwing around the term fanboys. Well, it's not really a term, it's just a word, seemingly, about those who like continue to put down AEW, put down Impact, and they continue to praise WWE. But I say this, folks, for those of you, whether you're a WWE fan, an AEW fan, Impact Wrestling fan, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Independence. Instead of bickering with each other and using the term fanboys. And by the way, how about we, oh, sorry, folks. What the heck? You're saying no such thing as there's no fan girls of each promotion's products? I got to see AEW Revolution, and it was a very good show. My major complaint about AEW's pay-per-views is that they have a tendency to end at 11:30 p.m. or later. AEW Revolution 2021 ended just before 11:45 p.m. And now that their pay-per-views are going to be done on Sunday nights, that's not going to be acceptable to everybody. Now, I know I'm just a fan of the crowd. I don't claim I'm not a part of the wrestling sport. I don't know what it's like to pay my dues and pay the price of being a wrestler, manager, referee, valet, ring announcer, or promoter, booker, part of a booking committee. I don't know what that stuff's like. That's why I stay in the crowd. I don't want to deal with what goes on behind the curtain, especially with so much discouragement and gaga going on. And, like the Speak Out movement that occurred last year, and now most recently, two individuals have been revealed to be wrongdoers, and they're pretty much gonna be out of wrestling. But I say, and this doesn't just apply to the fans, folks. I mean, there've been times in the past, and I respect everybody in the wrestling sport, but the times where wrestlers would put each other down for one reason or another, and they would always say, like, I don't know, they would put people's talents down or abilities down. I don't know if it's just to try to make a storyline work in pro wrestling via social media. I I respect every hardworking man and woman in pro wrestling for being a part of this sport. But instead of trashing other promotions for one reason or another, and this again, it goes down to not just fans, but even those in pro wrestling. Instead of putting each other down and doing all this gaga and all this other stuff, and I have a tendency to say gaga a lot. Whether you're whether you like WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, uh, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling. You know, this is pro wrestling is something that seemingly brings everybody together. Or even if you're a fan of independent wrestling like I am, you know, it brings everybody together. Now, I know I said about AEW earlier about my complaint about their pay-per-views running till 11:30 or later. They really should do some time restraints on those matches. I know they want to really give everybody their money's worth, and you know, a lot of things like that. But I'm sorry to say it, folks. Although Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks practically run the company, it's owned by Tony Khan, who co-owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tony Khan is a fucking money mark who doesn't know shit about wrestling. And I'm pretty confident he doesn't know shit about football either just because he co-owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. Basically, folks, I mean, he actually paid for the purchase, paid royalties to allow the Jurassic Express's Jungle Boy to come out to Baltimore's song Tarzan Boy. I mean, come on, what does that tell you? And I mean, Impact Wrestling, you know, whatever it was TNA, it was great, but I think the damage, and I don't know what's keeping the Impact afloat, because I think the damage is pretty much done thanks to that dumb Dixie Carter who didn't know shit about wrestling. I'm ranting here, folks. I know that. You know, that's the trouble. But I say this to the fans, to everyone in wrestling. You know, instead of trying to put each other down and say whose product is better and all this better than you mentality or holier than thou mentality, why can't we just all not just band together as fans and as you know, for those in wrestling and even for the fans, why can't we all do this? Let the wrestling speak. You know, instead of bashing people left and right and putting each other down, why can't we just get down as, you know, Ace Pro Wrestling's promoter, Mike Morgan, who would run shows throughout the state, in the state of New Jersey, mostly in Wallington. I remember I was part of the Union City era, and I watched that company grow and blossom into the great product they are today. But Mike Morgan, he said a long time ago, he said, let's get down to the quality of the wrestling. You know, you could spend your money on your big names, you could have all these, you know, there's too many elements, I'm probably using the wrong word, elements to put on a great show. But, you know, let's get down to the quality of the wrestling, the quality of the product. Hence what I said earlier. Let the wrestling speak. You know, I mean, you know, it's kind of ridiculous. You know, it's kind of sickening. And you know, I'm glad I'm not a part of any of those wrestling Facebook groups out there, because they're probably all getting their facts wrong. Especially as my dear longtime friend Randy Corelli refers to these newer fans as newbies who think they know the business. You know, I mean, you know, Randy has that trick question. They say they don't even know who Billy Jack Haynes is. And, you know, it makes me wonder where these fans, or as he called them, newbies, get the money to go to all these darn meet and greets and meet all these wrestlers. And, you know, it's just that who knows how the wrestling fans are going to be in the next 10, 20 years or so. Because over the years, I've noticed that life gets in the way of all these wrestling fans, whether it's fans, you know, life gets in everybody's way. You know, because either they get girlfriends, or they get married, or they don't got the money to go anymore, or they get tired or bored with wrestling and all. So, you know, basically it's just, you know, like I said, it sucks about all these fans like trying to chew each other out and try to bully and stuff. I know it doesn't pay to be a bully, And I'm not referring to the anti-bullying campaign that WWE had years ago. But look, why can't we just stop here? Anyone can be big and bad on social media, but I know people also, but at the same time, when they're face to face, eye to eye, in the flesh, everybody can tend to back down like a bunny. People do back down like bunny rabbits. So instead of, like I said, folks, instead of putting the products down, I mean, no matter which promotion you like, and for those who complain about WWE but keep watching, you're hypocrites. I'm sorry. You keep complaining about it, yet you keep watching it. And I'm sorry to say this. Folks. From the files of No Justice here, last year Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn did not want to compete in a pandemic. Roman pulled out of his match with Goldberg last year at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn was stripped of the Intercontinental Championship. All of a sudden, months later, they both come back. Roman wins the Universal Championship, and Sami Zayn wins the Intercontinental Championship again. I mean, now that's not proof. Even though Roman is one of Vince McMahon's favorites, I'm sorry to say it. Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn are a couple of butt wipers. So again, folks, why don't we just stop? Stop with this holier than thou, better than other fans mentality. And as I said, I'll say it one final time. Let the wrestling speak.